There are moments in life when confusion feels like peace, when calm feels like healing, and when a smile from someone who once hurt you feels like hope. You sit there thinking, maybe this time it's different. Maybe they've changed. Maybe the storm has finally passed. But deep down, something whispers inside you. Be careful. Because not every quiet moment means safety, and not every act of kindness comes from love. Sometimes it's just the calm before the storm. You see, a narcissist knows how to mirror your heart. They study your compassion, your forgiveness, your longing for harmony. And they use it as a tool to pull you back in. And when that rare good day comes, you start to doubt your own strength, your own memory of pain, because that glimpse of peace feels so real. But the truth, my friend, is that your healing cannot depend on their behavior. Your peace cannot be tied to their mood. Today, I want to remind you that a good day with a narcissist doesn't mean you were wrong about who they are. It only means you are human enough to hope. And there is no shame in that hope. But real strength begins when you see the pattern, when you stop confusing relief with love, and when you choose to protect your soul, even when your heart still wants to believe. That is where freedom begins. Not in their change, but in your clarity. In life, there are moments that feel too peaceful to question, too calm to resist, especially after chaos. When you've lived through the unpredictable storms of a narcissistic relationship, a good day can feel like sunlight breaking through heavy clouds. You breathe a little easier, you smile a little more, and part of you starts to believe that maybe, just maybe, things are finally turning around. But this is where awareness must rise above emotion, because not every moment of peace means the war is over. Sometimes that calm is not healing, it's strategy. The narcissist's good days are like rehearsed performances, carefully timed to keep you invested, to make you question your boundaries, and to make you forget the pain they caused. They sense when you're pulling away, when your spirit is regaining strength, and that's when they turn on the charm. They become the person you always wanted them to be. Attentive, kind, loving. It feels genuine because it speaks directly to your deepest hope for change. But that hope can become a trap if it blinds you to the truth of their patterns. You must understand that calm is not random. It's a reset. It's their way of reminding you of what you could lose if you walk away. It's a moment designed to make you doubt your own strength. But this is where your power begins to grow, right in the middle of that quiet moment, when you choose to stay grounded in reality. You remind yourself that a single good day doesn't erase the months of manipulation. You remind yourself that temporary kindness doesn't equal lasting change. You learn to appreciate the calm, but not surrender to it. Every storm has a cycle, and so does every narcissist. But your awareness, your strength, your ability to stand firm, even when things seem peaceful, that's what breaks the cycle. When you stop reacting to the calm as if it's a promise, and start viewing it as part of the pattern, you take back your control. You rise above the illusion, and you begin to build peace that isn't dependent on anyone else's mood or approval. That, right there, is the kind of peace that cannot be taken away. because it doesn't come from manipulation. It comes from your own awakening. There's a kind of smile that doesn't reach the soul, a charm that feels warm on the surface, but cold underneath. You've seen it before. The smile that appears after the chaos, after the argument, after the silent treatment. It's the smile that says, let's forget all that pain, let's pretend it never happened. And for a moment, you want to believe it. Because your heart is tired of fighting, tired of being on edge, tired of waiting for the next explosion. That's when the trap is set, not with anger, but with sweetness. A narcissist's smile can feel like healing, but it's often emotional control in disguise. It's their way of pulling you back into the web, making you feel safe, just long enough to let your guard down. They understand your empathy, your desire for peace, your longing for connection. And they use that goodness in you as a doorway to step back into your life with power. That smile, that gentle tone, that sudden kindness, it's not an apology, it's a tactic. It's the mask they wear to keep the control they fear losing. You have to see beyond that mask. You have to recognize that true change doesn't come with charm, it comes with consistent action, humility, and accountability. When someone uses affection as a way to erase accountability, they're not showing love, they're showing control. And once you understand that, you begin to shift the power dynamic. You stop reacting to their smile and start responding with strength. You stop confusing comfort with safety, charm with change, attention with love. That's when you begin to stand taller in your truth. You realize that real peace isn't given by another person. It's built within you. Their smile might tempt you to forget, but your wisdom reminds you to remember. You hold on to your clarity, even when their words sound soothing. You trust what you know, not what they show, because the same smile that once disarmed you will lose its power the moment you see it for what it truly is. A performance. And once you stop falling for the act, you start living in truth. A truth that no false charm can ever touch. When you've spent enough time with a narcissist, reality starts to twist. You begin to doubt what you saw, what you felt, what you heard. They'll tell you it didn't happen, that you're overreacting, that you're the problem. And little by little, you start to lose your footing. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop believing your own truth. That's how the illusion takes hold. Not because you're weak, but because you care. Because you wanted things to make sense. Because you loved someone who made confusion feel like clarity. But the moment you decide to stay grounded in what's real, everything begins to change. Reality is your anchor. It's not emotional. It's not dramatic. It's steady, solid, unshakable. It's the truth that stands, even when the illusion tries to cloud your mind. The narcissist will build castles out of words, painting pictures of who they pretend to be, and rewriting the past to make you question your memory. But your strength lies in refusing to live in that fantasy. You remind yourself of what actually happened, of what you've seen, of what you've survived. You stop chasing explanations from people who thrive on confusion, and instead, you start standing on your own clarity. Being grounded doesn't mean being cold. It means being wise. It means feeling the emotions, but not letting them dictate your reality. It means looking beyond the charm, the promises, the apologies, and asking, do the actions match the words? You see, illusions are beautiful distractions, but they never last. Reality, no matter how painful, is what sets you free. Because once you stop believing their version of the truth, their control begins to crumble. You take back your narrative, your perception, your peace. Every time you choose reality over illusion, you strengthen your spirit. You remind yourself that your mind is not a playground for manipulation. You begin to see clearly, to breathe deeply, to walk confidently. The truth might sting at first, but it heals in the end. Illusion comforts for a moment, but it traps you in cycles of hope and disappointment. So, when the lies sound sweet and the fantasy feels tempting, stay grounded. Stand tall in what you know. Because freedom doesn't come from escaping reality. It comes from embracing it fully, with courage, strength, and unshakable self-respect. There comes a point in life when you realize your peace is not a luxury. It's survival. When you've dealt with a narcissist, you learn that the greatest battle isn't always with them. It's the battle to keep your emotions steady while they try to pull you into their storm. They thrive on reactions. They feed on your confusion, your anger, your sadness. Every time they twist the truth, every time they play the victim, they're reaching for your energy. And that's why protecting your emotional balance isn't selfish. It's sacred. Emotional balance means you no longer dance to the rhythm of their chaos. It means when they try to provoke you, you don't bite. When they go silent to get your attention, you don't chase. When they pretend to be the calm one, after causing the fire, you stay centered in your truth. You see, a narcissist's power isn't in their words. It's in your reaction. The moment you stop reacting, you take back control. You show them that your emotions belong to you, not to their manipulation. But protecting your balance doesn't mean becoming numb. It means becoming wise. It means learning when to speak, and when silence is your strongest defense. It means knowing that you don't have to prove your worth to anyone who profits from your pain. Your calm is your weapon. Your peace is your shield. Because the one thing a narcissist can't stand is losing access to your energy, your attention, your emotional response. When you guard your emotional space, you begin to rise above their games. You start seeing their behavior for what it is. A desperate attempt to pull you back into a place you've already outgrown. You stop internalizing their chaos and start prioritizing your healing. That's when the real power shifts. Because peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of control. Your control. So, protect it with everything you have. Protect it when they smile, when they guilt trip, when they gaslight. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. That balance is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. It's where your true strength lies. Quiet but unbreakable. There was a time when you would hold on to every small act of kindness from the narcissist like it was proof that love still lived there. A kind word, a smile, a gentle gesture. It felt like hope, like maybe they were finally seeing your worth. But the truth is, those moments were never about change. They were about control. Their kindness came in flashes, just enough to keep you doubting, just enough to keep you holding on. And while you were celebrating their rare good days, you forgot to celebrate yourself, the one who kept standing through it all. You have to understand, real love doesn't come in crumbs. Real love is consistent, steady, and safe. When a narcissist offers you a moment of kindness, after weeks of silence or manipulation, that's not growth. It's maintenance of power. It's how they reset the game, how they keep you invested. But the moment you turn your focus inward, everything shifts. When you start celebrating your strength, your boundaries, your healing, you stop needing their validation. You stop waiting for their approval to feel worthy. You begin to realize that your peace, your progress, your happiness were never dependent on their behavior. They've always been yours to create. Every time you choose to celebrate yourself, you break another link in the chain they tried to hold you with. Celebrate that you didn't respond to the bait. Celebrate that you walked away from chaos. Celebrate that you're learning to love yourself in ways they never could. Because the truth is, you were the light in that relationship all along. You were the one giving, forgiving, hoping, believing. And now it's time to turn that love inward. Where it belongs, don't measure your worth by how nicely they treat you for a day. Measure it by how far you've come, how much you've healed, how deeply you've learned to trust yourself again. Their moments of kindness may come and go, but your growth, that's permanent. Your peace, that's power. So stand tall in your own worth. Celebrate the survivor, the fighter, the healer within you. Because the day you stop waiting for their kindness and start honoring your own strength, that's the day you truly become free. At the end of the day, remember this: you don't need their approval to feel whole, and you don't need their kindness to feel loved. Every time you choose peace over reaction, truth over illusion, and self-respect over chaos, you're rewriting your story. The journey away from a narcissist isn't just about leaving them behind. It's about returning to yourself. You've walked through confusion, manipulation, and heartbreak, but you're still standing stronger than ever. That strength, that clarity, that freedom, that's your victory. So hold your head high, protect your peace, and never apologize for choosing yourself. Because the greatest revenge against manipulation is not anger, it's peace. And the greatest power you'll ever hold is realizing that you no longer need to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding you. Stand tall, stay grounded, and let your healing speak louder than their games.